Lawmakers are considering doing away with a financial aid program that could affect hundreds of thousands of college students from poor and middle-income families. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick considers the program a hidden tax. Right now, wealthier students pay up to 20% of their tuition, or an average of $684, into a pot which is redistributed to those who can't pay tuition. Last year, about $345 million was given to more than 200,000 students in need. Analysts say eliminating the program would lead to many minorities not being able to attend college, with Hispanic students taking the hardest hit. The question is, should families and taxpayers bear the burden of higher education? That's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page and Twitter. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26for Life. Joining us live in the newsroom this morning is our panel, led by our senior legal analyst Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so Patrick says getting rid of the program would instantly lower tuition by 20%. What do you think?
Patrick says that it would lower tuition by 20%, but the state's highest education official says that if this $345 million is not replaced, it would cause a whole host like you said, 200,000 students benefited from this. It would cause a whole host of minority students not to be able to go to college. That's the issue, Jackie Bally. But does Dan Patrick have a point here? You know, when I pay cash for my kids to go to school, about $684 of that is taken, putting into this fund. Yeah. Is this a hidden tax on me? But is it wrong?
Yeah, the overall message that we're missing is that Dan Patrick says that they have increased funding for universities. As you know, Governor Abbott said that he wanted to make education a priority, and they did that the last session. He significantly increased it for public education, and now they have also increased it for public institutions.
Let's talk about this.
I'm getting to it. And so Dan Patrick was saying that even though they have increased it by $282 million, they have increased their costs by 147%. So middle class people is getting very difficult for them to afford a college tuition. The overall message, what he was saying is, they want more control to help the middle class to afford college. For instance, they were talking about many different measures, not just this. Having the legislature take over the tuitions was another measure. Having the legislature look at the budgets more closely. So they were looking at several different measures to try to help the middle class afford college.
Cutting this program, if it cuts out minority students from entering college, how is that a benefit?
It's short-sighted. Years ago, the legislature deregulated higher education tuition. That was the first mistake the legislature made. And again, it was about, like, how do we reduce costs? Well, costs actually went up substantially. Then this latest debacle, if we're trying to create ladders of opportunity for people, then this is going completely in the other direction. If we want our state to succeed, we're a knowledge-based economy in the 21st century, and this state continues not only underfund public education, but now it's dismantling higher education and taking opportunities away from the next generation of Texans.
Let's go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media. Maybe.
Here we are. Alrighty then. Okay. Bringing up Twitter here. First tweet from Catherine Annette. She says these tuition set-asides, as they are called, help thousands of poor students go to college. Why is the Texas legislature looking to gut the program? And then a couple of quotes here that the UT advocates tweeted out. First from State Senator Kirk Watson. This is a bigger discussion than just tuition set-asides. This is how the legislature is going to fund higher ed into the future. And then a quote from the higher ed commissioner. I don't think it is a hidden tax. It's transparent. The legislation was passed. So there you go.
Well, that's just calling it a hidden tax was just Dan Patrick's way of getting everybody to take a look at it. I don't have a problem with the verbiage as much as I do with how we're going to continue to help minority students and poor students get into college. We say we want you to have a higher education, but then we're taking away the ability to get in there.
But Mr. Watson said it correctly. This is not just about this set-aside. It's about how they're going to fund higher education. And again, getting to the point that Dan Patrick was saying, when you have universities increasing their costs by 147%, but yet the median income for families is only increasing by 38%. And one thing I want to correct, my colleague said that they are underfunding. The the last session, they did not underfund. They gave a significant increase to public education.
But isn't public education, higher education cost rising as rapidly as it is directly the fault of our legislature?
Yeah, because they deregulated the tuition, right? So every time they go in, the language basically is, we're going to bring more transparency, we're going to bring more accountability, we're going to do ... But at the end of the day, tuition's rising. And now they're about to gut the program that's going to kick 200,000 kids that
Well,
need
not
that
many,
opportunity.
but kick a lot out, right?
Well,
They gave universities $300 million more, and they want more latitude in how those dollars are going to be transferred and how to transfer those benefits back to the students.
We got less than a minute.
Let me just say it this way. I think we often talk about minority kids. It's not just minority, it's poor kids.
Right.
Poor kids of our state that need an opportunity to get higher education, not just to lift themselves, but to lift their families. And Dan Patrick is cutting that opportunity away from them.
Okay, we got less than 30 seconds.
They
That means less than 30
they
seconds.
gave them $300 million extra. They wanted those benefits transferred to the students. They were not. Instead, they increased the tuition and they increased a lot of their costs. Dan Patrick wants to have more control over tuitions so middle-class students can afford college.
So we'll see where it goes in the legislative session, and I hope that if they're going to take away this, they look at a way to refund this program to keep funding for poor and minority kids. We'll see where it goes. We'll be back in
Anything
20
to keep
minutes.
that tuition down low, though,
That's right.
and help kids get to college is important. All
It
right,
sure wouldn't
thanks,
hurt my
guys.
feelings.
All right. Hey, we appreciate it.